jump up by Matias to vanquish two previously undefeated foes, and an onion goes down right before the bell for the first time in his career.
El orgullo de Baternillo, Subriel Matias.
His punches don't just hurt, they break spirits. Step into the ring with Subriel Matias, and you're in for a brutal reality check. Fighters either crumble under his pressure or get swallowed whole by his relentless assault. With 22 wins, 2 losses, and 1 fight that ended in tragedy, Matias isn't just a knockout artist, he's a wrecking machine, a force of nature in the super lightweight division, yet somehow still one of the most underrated champions of our time.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Subriel Matias was born on March 31st, 1992 in Puerto Rico, a place known for producing some of the toughest fighters in boxing history. But for Matias, life wasn't just tough. It was a daily fight for survival. Growing up in poverty, surrounded by the unforgiving streets, boxing wasn't just a sport. It was his only way out. A chance to escape, to rewrite his future. Unlike many champions who start boxing as kids, Matias laced up the gloves relatively late, at 16 years old. Yet, despite the late start, his raw power and relentless style made up for lost time. His amateur career wasn't filled with Olympic medals or world championships. But the moment he stepped into the pro ranks, everything changed. The ring became his proving ground, and his fists did the talking. Within just a few years, he went from an unknown prospect to one of the most feared punchers in the super lightweight division. Matias's first real test came against the battle-tested Jeffrey Fontanez, a guy many thought could finally slow him down. But Matias had other plans. 2 minutes. That's all it took. Fontanez walked in a fighter and left, wondering if he had just gotten hit by a runaway freight train. He stormed through Fontanez like a wrecking ball, leaving no doubt that he was different, a fighter built for destruction. After that fight, promoters finally took notice. They saw the power, the pressure, the sheer violence Matias brought into the ring. But what they didn't realize was that this was just the beginning. He wasn't just a dangerous fighter. He was evolving into an unstoppable force, rearranging careers. With every fight, Matias became more ruthless, more relentless. He was there to make people question their life choices. Opponents didn't just lose to him, they crumbled, overwhelmed by his suffocating pressure and non-stop assault. His style was simple, yet terrifying. Constant aggression, endless punches, and zero concern for whatever came back at him. 8 fights, 8 stoppages. Matias wasn't just climbing the rankings. He was plowing through them like a bulldozer with no brakes. And now, the boxing world had to face the cold, hard truth. This wasn't just a contender on the rise. This was a monster in the making. On July 19th, 2019, Subriel Matias stepped into the ring for the biggest fight of his career, an IBF title eliminator in the super lightweight division. Standing across from him was Maxim Dadashev, an undefeated Russian fighter with a flawless 13-0 record. Matias, as always, brought relentless pressure, unloading brutal combinations round after round.
Body occasionally, yes. Right on the corner.
Lets it go. Body work to start this round.
His pace was suffocating, his shots punishing.
And there's a left hand.
Dadashev, tough as nails, refused to go down.
Punches, not one shot at a time. You gotta chop them down.
You can see these thudding blows coming in.
But by the 11th round, the damage was undeniable. His corner, seeing their fighter take an unbearable amount of punishment, made the heartbreaking decision to stop the fight.
Spot.
I'm going to stop the fight. Max, I'm going to stop it.
A TKO victory
You're going to hit too much, baby.
for Subriel Matias.
But the real tragedy unfolded moments later. As Dadashev walked back to his locker room, his body gave out. He collapsed and was rushed to the hospital, where doctors fought to save his life. Despite their efforts, on July 23rd, just 4 days later, Maxim Dadashev passed away from injuries sustained in the fight. The aftermath was devastating, not just for the boxing world, but for Matias himself. His name was now attached to an unthinkable tragedy. Instead of celebrating a career-defining victory, he was haunted by it. The media questioned him. Fans debated whether the fight should have been stopped earlier. But Matias? He was left to battle something far more difficult, his own conscience. For many fighters, something like this would have been the end. How do you step back into the ring knowing your punches took a man's life? How do you move forward when the sport you love just showed you its darkest side? Matias found himself at a crossroads. He could walk away, or he could fight on. And in true warrior fashion, he chose the latter. Not out of recklessness, but out of purpose. He returned to the ring with even greater determination, carrying the weight of that night with him, not as a burden, but as a reminder of the risks that come with greatness. On February 22nd, 2020, under the bright lights of the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Subriel Matias walked into the ring as a heavy favorite, a wrecking machine with a 14-1 advantage over his opponent, Russia's Petros Ananyan. But odds don't win fights, and Ananyan had no intention of being another highlight on Matias' record. From the opening bell, Matias brought his signature pressure, throwing bombs and looking to break Ananyan down,
Good body shot.
as he had done to every opponent before him. But this time, something was different. Ananyan wasn't folding. He took Matias's best shots, absorbed the punishment, and kept firing back.
That Holyfield was headbutting. Right on cue, you actually saw it coming the other way with a little return fire.
Round by round, the tide started shifting.
And another one from Ananyan. And now against the undefeated Matias. That is being ruled a knockdown.
Matias, perhaps unprepared for this kind of resistance, struggled to impose his usual dominance. Ananyan found his rhythm, landed sharp counters, and disrupted Matias's relentless assault. As the fight wore on, Matias wasn't just fighting Petros. He was fighting exhaustion, frustration, and a Russian who simply refused to break. After 10 grueling rounds, the judges handed Ananyan a unanimous decision victory, a close but clear upset that marked the first loss of Matias's career. For the first time, the wrecking machine had been stopped. But as any great fighter knows, it's not about how you fall, it's about how you rise again. Matias's first career loss wasn't just a setback, it was a wake-up call. Determined to remind the world exactly who he was, he wasted no time in making a statement. His next opponent? Malik Hawkins. From the opening bell, Matias unleashed pure chaos. His signature aggression was on full display, suffocating Hawkins with relentless pressure and heavy hands.
A lot of real wrestling on the inside.
He's hurt. I mean, he's a hard-hitting puncher.
He's been warned by the referee and
Keep him up.
There was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Matias kept marching forward, breaking Hawkins down piece by piece. By the 6th round, Hawkins was drowning in Matias's relentless onslaught. Then came the final blow. A vicious left hand sent Hawkins crashing to the canvas. As he struggled to recover, the ringside doctor stepped in. Fight over. TKO victory. Another opponent shattered, another chilling reminder of Matias's destructive power. On May 29, 2021, he stepped into the ring with undefeated contender Batirjan Jukembayev, who was 18-0 in Carson, USA. It was supposed to be a war, and from the opening bell, Jukembayev came out strong, controlling the middle of the ring with his powerful left hand and sharp combinations.
Another lead left uppercut. Now Matias. Oh, another beautiful combination.
Matias started throwing crushing punches with relentless pressure and zero hesitation, which started to take its toll on Batirjan.
Uppercut, I talked about that, now it's coming.
21 years pro experience, his 579th professional fight, and
It's really extraordinary. There it is. And
down goes Jukembayev!
By the 8th round, the Kazakh warrior had given all he had, but it wasn't enough. His corner had seen enough, waving the white flag before things got worse. Another stoppage win. Another body left in the wake of Matias's destruction. With this victory, Matias officially became the IBF mandatory challenger for the super lightweight world title. The loss to Ananyan? A distant memory. The road to championship gold was now in sight, and Matias was coming for it by any means necessary. On January 22nd, 2022 in Atlantic City, the stage was set for a highly anticipated rematch between Subriel Matias and Petros Ananyan. It had been 2 years since Matias had suffered his first professional loss, and now he had the chance to settle the score and prove his true worth. Petros entered the ring with a solid game plan, high pressure and staying in close range, keeping Matias from unleashing his trademark aggressive tempo. Matias struggled early, unable to break through Ananyan's tight defense and sharp counters. His corner was vocal, urging him to up the intensity. But the first few rounds were a tough battle for the Puerto Rican powerhouse.
Continue to unload on each other.
But Matias doesn't back down. In the 3rd round, he dragged Ananyan into a slugfest, where his raw power and relentless pressure began to wear down his opponent. The tide started to turn. Matias found his rhythm, turning the fight into a brutal exchange.
Puerto Rican, Mexico, doing one thing his corner told me to do.
Work by Matias, going upstairs with the left hook.
Here we go in this fight.
And right uppercut.
Still doing good work on the inside. And Matias still doing good work as he counters off the ropes. Don't give me distance.
As the fight wore on, it became clear. Ananyan was running on empty. By the 8th round, his gas tank was empty.
These are great. Now the question is, can Matias keep this from being a 10-8 round?
And his ability to absorb Matias's punishment was fading.
10-8 round as opposed to a 10-9.
And trade at the moment.
There's a jab, blistering body attack.
In the 9th round, a left hook from Matias landed clean, and Ananyan went down.
Just looked absolutely tremendous, and there's a big left hook, and that puts him down. Matias finally gets the knockdown here.
The ringside doctor stepped in, checking Ananyan's condition, and with his deteriorating state, the doctor signaled the referee to stop the fight.
And the fight is all over.
Matias had won by TKO in the 9th round. It was a redemption victory for Matias, avenging his loss and proving that setbacks only made him stronger. He had taken his shot at redemption and delivered. The road to a world title just got a whole lot clearer. On February 25th, 2023, in Minneapolis, Subriel Matias stepped into the ring for the chance of a lifetime, facing the undefeated Jeremias Nicholas Ponce for the vacant IBF World Junior Welterweight title. Despite being labeled the underdog, Ponce came out swinging with confidence, dominating the first round with his high volume of punches and forcing Matias onto the defensive.
Wow, it's right. So much.
But Matias isn't one to back down. In the 2nd round, he flipped the script, taking the fight to Ponce and engaging in a brutal firefight, where his aggression paid off, and he began to find his rhythm.
I think that both of these fighters, wow.
However, the third round saw Ponce regain his momentum,
For Ponce is he got hurt with left hooks.
disrupting Matias's flow with his elusive movement,
Fighting by Ponce, left uppercut right by Ponce.
avoiding reckless exchanges and showing signs of fatigue, but still managing to control the pace.
They said right away, and what a fight this has been so far.
In the fifth round, Matias turned the heat up, landing devastating shots that began to take their toll on Ponce. With just 10 seconds left, a massive punch from Matias sent Ponce crashing to the canvas.
He's doing a little better.
Matias has Ponce staggered. Ponce goes down for the second time in his career.
He managed to get back to his feet, but his corner, knowing the damage had been done, made the decision to stop the fight before the start of the sixth round.
We're done. No more. We're done.
Hey, no más. No más. Do this. No más. No más.
Two famous words in boxing. No.
With that, Subriel Matias secured a TKO victory and claimed the IBF Junior Welterweight World title. His relentless pressure and iron will had finally earned him the gold, marking the beginning of his reign as a world champion.
It's over! The fight is over!
On November 25, 2023, Subriel Matias made his first title defense in Las Vegas, facing the undefeated Shahjahan Ergashev, who entered the ring with a perfect record of 23-0, including 20 knockouts. Ergashev came out strong in the first two rounds, showcasing his skill and ability to maintain the right distance while landing powerful, precision strikes.
You might not see it because it's so fast. Yeah, that's something he does so good.
Four-punch combination, rattling the noggin of Matias. Ergashev coming out in fuego.
He controlled the pace,
We're putting together these nasty combinations led by that straight left out, followed up by the right hook, and he continues. And you know, play Matias like a drum.
and seemed to be executing his strategy flawlessly. Round 3 marked the beginning of Matias's relentless pressure. Fighting at close range, the Puerto Rican champ landed crushing shots that forced Ergashev to fight at a pace he wasn't accustomed to.
The left lands for Ergashev, digs downstairs, so does Matias. Terrific stuff through 3 rounds.
The intensity of Matias's attack was overwhelming, and the challenger struggled to keep up.
And Matias teeing off on Ergashev in the corner. Ergashev has never been down.
By the 5th round, Ergashev began showing signs of distress, complaining about leg pain and clearly unable to handle the pressure. With no way to keep up with the champion's pace, Ergashev made the tough decision not to come out for the 6th round, resulting in a corner stoppage. Matias successfully defended his IBF Junior Welterweight World title, proving that his power and relentless style could overcome even the most dangerous challenges.
Champion of the world, el orgullo de Maternillo, Subriel Matias.
In April 2024, Matias signed a promotional deal with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, leaving behind the promoters where he had previously competed in his last 5 fights. This new partnership marks the beginning of a thrilling new chapter in Matias's career as he continues his quest to dominate the division. On June 15th, 2024, in his hometown of Monate, Puerto Rico, Subriel Matias faced a tough challenge in a voluntary title defense against Australia's Liam Paro. From the opening bell, it was clear that Paro came to fight. He immediately took control, using a sharp jab and superior technical skills to disrupt Matias's rhythm and keep him on the back foot. As the rounds went on, Matias knew he had to pick up the pace to turn the fight around. He tried to assert his usual relentless pressure, landing a few solid shots, even rocking Parro toward the end of the 6th round. But Parro showed incredible resilience, shaking off the attack and staying composed. As the fight wore on, Matias began to show signs of fatigue. His once unrelenting pressure began to lose its sting, and his punches lacked the same accuracy and power. With each passing round, his defense grew sloppier, and Parro capitalized on every opportunity.
Not once have we seen Liam Paul shook or intimidated by the power back, still trying to win this round.
In the end, the judges saw it in favor of Parro with scores of 116 to 111 and 115 to 112 on 2 cards. Matias's reign as world champion came to an end, but the fight showed that even the most relentless warriors face challenges that push them to their limits. On November 9th, 2024, in Bayamon, Subriel Matias made his return to the ring after suffering his 2nd defeat, facing off against Mexico's Robert Ramirez. From the opening bell, Ramirez came out aggressive.
Nice right hand there from Ramirez in the early going, and Matias might be in a little bit of trouble. He was buzzed by that one.
Pressing the action.
Ramirez, who's trying to just get back to action right now.
And pushing Matias back against the ropes, trying to take control early. But in the final moments of the 1st round, Matias unleashed a devastating left hook that stunned Ramirez, closing the round in his favor and reminding everyone of his power.
Scary moments for Subriel Matias.
In the 2nd round, Matias quickly found his rhythm, turning up the intensity and applying relentless pressure. Ramirez had nowhere to escape as Matias unleashed a barrage of shots, suffocating him with his style. Halfway through the round, Matias delivered a crushing body shot that sent Ramirez crashing to the canvas. Another thunderous body blow followed, sending Ramirez down once again. With no response from Ramirez, the referee stepped in and stopped the fight, giving Matias a dominant TKO victory. It was a statement performance for Matias, showing that setbacks only fuel his fire. He returned with a vengeance and reminded everyone why he's still one of the most dangerous men in the division.
El orgullo de Maternillo, Subriel Matias.
March 1st, 2025, in a highly anticipated clash, Subriel Matias squared off against Gabriel Golas Venezuela. From the opening round, it was clear that Matias was back to his old, relentless self. Gabriel, known for his aggressive style, came out swinging, but Matias was ready. The Puerto Rican champ quickly took control, landing clean, powerful shots and constantly pressuring Venezuela into a defensive shell. In the 3rd round, Matias's intensity was too much for Venezuela to handle. After a brutal exchange of punches, Matias unleashed a devastating left hook that rocked Golas to his core. Venezuela staggered but refused to go down, showing his toughness. But Matias wasn't finished. By the 5th round, Gabriel was clearly slowing down, and Matias was only heating up. His unrelenting aggression and sharp hooks kept Venezuela on the back foot, unable to mount any significant offense. With each passing round, the Mexican was absorbing more and more punishment, his defense crumbling under the pressure. Finally, in the 8th round, After a brutal series of punches, Golaz was helpless and took a knee, forcing the referee to step in and stop the fight.
Right hand there from Matias. The knee buckling on Golaz, and down he goes.
Now would be a nice time to stop this fight.
That is it.
Matias claimed a TKO victory, reaffirming his position as one of the most feared forces in boxing.
By way of knockout, el orgullo de Monterrey, Subriel Matias.
Subriel Matias isn't your typical fighter. He's a rare breed. With a mindset forged in adversity, he's proven time and time again that setbacks only fuel his fire. Losing a title, bouncing back stronger, taking tough defeats. He's learned, adapted, and returned even more dangerous. Matias's aggressive style, bone-crushing power, and unyielding determination make him a nightmare for anyone in the junior welterweight division. But it's not just about raw power. His ability to learn from every fight, refine his approach, and keep pushing forward is what truly sets him apart. This isn't just a comeback story. It's the rise of an underrated star who's hungry for more. His journey is far from over, and every fight he steps into is a thrilling chapter waiting to unfold. The question is, who's next in line to face this unstoppable force? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think should be Matias's next opponent? The best is yet to come.